Good morning, friends, and welcome to another video here at the Ferreira homestead. Today I wanted to share with you what I normally use to sleep in when I'm going camping, overlanding, out in the woods, hunting, horseback riding, anything like that. So I tend to be a very minimalist person when it comes to these things. I like to be as simple and not have to carry a bunch of stuff. And of course, depending on where you're going, method of transportation and everything, it's going to dictate what you're going to be able to carry or not. So without further ado, I'm going to try to, not in any order per se, but I guess I'll go from when I can carry the most to the least, I guess, for lack of better words. But so I have a Coleman, and this has been with me for many years. I love my Coleman cot, and it's very transportable. It folds very nice into a little bag. It's on the heavy side, but it's very durable. Of course, this is not something you're going to carry on a horse, unless you have multiple horses to distribute your weight, or a mule or something like that. But it's something you would take in your Jeep, for example, your 4x4, whatever vehicle you're using, four-wheel vehicle you're using for going camping or overlanding. So my Coleman here is one of my favorite things, and I find it very comfortable. I thankfully don't have a lot of health issues at all, or I don't have any health issues, so that would cause a problem with my back or something. I don't have a back problem, so I find that very comfortable. Yeah, so of course it depends also if you're going in the summer, if you're going in the fall, winter, and where you're going for your outing. But moving on here, I do have an inflatable little mattress here that I use sometimes. And this, I inflated it already just for the sake of showing you the video. And I apologize for the sirens in the back. I tried to do this video yesterday, but everybody was cutting trees and mowing. And today we have fire department going by. But anyway, so this is a sleep and go. And it's I have a few of these. I have one for each one of the family members, and also I think at least one or two extras. But they're very light. I've used this on the Appalachian Trail, hiking the Appalachian Trail, and they once you deflate them, they fold down to a very small pack. So they're very easy to transport. They don't take up a lot of space, and if you want that extra comfort, you can definitely just set it up on top of your cot and have a second layer of cushion, if you will. The other thing that's important to remember is that this is not just for cushion, but it's also a barrier from the ground, from the ground moisture and coolness of the ground coming through to you. Okay, so this also gives you a little bit of a protection from cold perspiration or humidity. Okay, more humidity, if you will. But so not just a comfort, something to make you more comfortable and a little more cushion for your back, for example, but also it works as a barrier for moisture and coolness, dampness coming through. Okay, so that's another option. All right, my very favorite thing is my canvas roll bag, and I lost my leather sheath, my leather cover for this, but I have a couple of the canvas roll bags. I love these things. They are very comfortable, and I'll show you again. I tend to be a minimalist when it comes to this, so This bag right here is I have a few different ones, but this is the Elko work, made in USA. Elko work. Okay, it's a nice thick canvas roll bag. I've had to treat it a couple of times. I've had it for many years now, and I have treated it a few times. And you should treat your roll bags, your canvas roll bags, once in a while. And the blanket that I have is a Pendleton, and it's 100% wool. And I just love these blankets. These are also made here in the United States. I stopped using sleeping bags. I have a sleeping bag there to show you, but I stopped using sleeping bags. I really just like a wool blanket and my canvas roll bag. I hike and hunt and camp in a lot of areas with a lot of bear activity, and the feeling of being inside one of these things right here, like this is just one of the basic Ozark Trail Walmart sleeping bags. They're very comfortable, they're very warm also, and if you are camping somewhere where it's pretty cold, you could actually do the wool blanket, the sleeping bag, and the canvas roll bag, and it's you'll be quite hot. But the thing is, for me, I don't know. I don't like being all zipped up in this burrito thing, and because I sleep outside a lot. Many times I won't even pitch a tent. I just sleep on the floor, make a little area, and just put out my canvas bag and my wool blanket and just and sleep like that. Because I do a lot of outside activities in bear country. I don't know, man. Just I don't want to be a bear burrito. That's what I'm trying to say. If I have a bear coming towards me or something, or I hear something, I like to be able to get off of it pretty quick and have my gun ready to go. To be honest with you, there's just something about sleeping in a wool blanket. I normally, again, depending on where I'm going, time of the year, season, all of that, usually I bring a sheet with me. I have a regular twin size sheet and a pillowcase. And what I do is the pillowcase, I have always extra clothing, change of clothing, something like that. I'll throw the clothing inside the pillowcase, and that acts as my pillow inside the pillow cover. And the sheet is nice because if it's pretty hot outside, or if in the fall, like now it's warm, but then it gets colder towards the middle of the night. It's just, it's nice to have the sheet, and then as it gets cooler, you can pull the blanket up and cover yourself, So let me open up this bedroll for you guys, and so you can see what it looks like. And it's got some pine needles and some probably horse hairs, some hairs also, dog hairs from us going out with the dogs. The thing with this is it tends to be very stiff, of course, as you could see, and I treated it and folded it after I treated it, but here it is, just to give you an idea what it looks like. This is not the biggest one I have. I have a much bigger roll-up bag. And again, forget what you're seeing in the movies and you see on the cowboy movies. This is a simple way to go. If you look at historical videos, you'll find that, when they were going out there running cows or anything like that, they had wagons, and their roll-up canvas bags were pretty substantially filled up with all their belongings, They would roll up, mattresses in there, clothing, whatever. You'd roll it up in your canvas bag. But this is not the case. We're not, that's not the type of thing that I'm doing. So here it is, just to give you an idea. Throw a blanket in. Normally I would throw my blanket inside like this. And of course I would not have the cot all the time with me. That's just, I'm using it now as a platform just to show you this. But so here's my blanket, and you cover yourself with a blanket. I like folding it like this because then I have both layers. I'm surrounded by the blanket. But as I mentioned, this is very easy to come out of. Okay, I have another one of these that's even bigger that I've also used, and it's just simple, just a simple way to sleep. Now, like I said, I have a bed sheet, and what I do is I like to have the sheet, and then I will have this on the side, close it up, close up one side. Many times I just close up one side like this. Give you a quick overview here. And I'll have it open like this. And sometimes I will, again, depending if it's hot or if it's cold, that's gonna, okay, but I'll have it like this. Okay, and then just slip right in and cover up, and it's a really, and let me tell you, canvas, it's amazing how much the canvas will retain your heat, your body heat, and how protective it is from the elements. Okay, but so I'll have a sheet. Many times I'll have a sheet in between the blanket here. I'll have a sheet, and then as the night gets cooler, I will pull the sheet up, pull the blanket up, and I can zip up this thing as much as I want. I usually never zip it up more than halfway on one side. I'll have it fully zipped on one side here, like this, and then I'll just throw this over and sleep. But this is very, very easy to jump in and out if you hear noises or you feel that you're under threat for some reason, or the beans from last night just gave you some really bad diarrhea and you got to run in the woods. This is easy, much easier to get out of than the sleeping bag. Now, what I've also done in the past, if I'm sleeping in the sleeping bag, and like I said, I rarely sleep in a sleeping bag, is I will have the blanket, I'll have the wool blanket, and I'm going to give you a quick, show you what I'll do. I'll have the wool blanket folded like this, and I'll throw it in the bottom of the roll like that. Okay, so I always have these wool blanket no matter what. Even in the summer I have the wool blanket with me. Wool blankets are awesome, not just for sleeping, but if you have an emergency, there's a lot of things you can do with a wool blanket. But as I was saying, I will, if I'm going to do a sleeping bag, and I know my kids and my wife like sleeping bags, we'll throw the wool blankets under the sleeping bag. Of course, you're slipping in there, and then you bring these up, zip it up on both sides, or zip it up at least on one side here, like this, just to give you a quick, so you can see what it looks like. Usually about halfway over there on one side, and you can easily jump right in, and it's very comfortable. Now, if you need that extra layer of comfort, you can very, very easily slip, and obviously you would put that in first. But you could have, I can't do it like this. You could have this actually either under the canvas or under the wool blanket. I like putting it under the wool blanket. So let me show you. Sorry guys, this is clumsy, kind of hard to shoot on my own. I don't have a camera guy or anything like that. So basically you would take your mattress first and get your mattress under there like that. There we go. And now you have an extra layer of comfort. So there it is. Let me show you. Okay, let's pull these up. So you have your wool blanket, right? You have your wool blanket. You have your pad. You have your wool blanket, and then you could have your sleeping bag. And this is for an outdoors camping, or if you're out on horseback, you're going hunting. This has been my go-to many times. But like I said, I normally don't carry personally a sleeping bag. I'll have it with me just in case, because you never know what the weather can do. But normally my go-to is my wool blanket, my roll, my canvas roll, and so basically what you see here, I'll have my little mattress like this, I'll have my wool blanket on top, and I'll have a sheet, a bed sheet in between here with a pillowcase that I fill up with extra clothing, and that's it. Sometimes I don't even bring a pillowcase, but most of the time I do. I've had times where I didn't have a pillowcase, so you just improvise. You could throw some leaves or something under your roll, and that gives you your little height for your head. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So if I'm going out and I am able to take my Coleman. I love taking my Coleman cot because it's just super comfortable, and it elevates you from the floor, so you don't have that dampness, the humidity from the ground onto your canvas roll. Although the canvas gives you pretty good protection, but if you could have that, it's nice. If you have a tent and you're inside a tent, the cot is really comfortable inside a tent. But if you're on horseback or you're limited to space and weight, then you got to leave that cot home, because the Coleman cot is very sturdy, but it is very heavy. It is heavy, not very heavy, but it is heavy. So otherwise, these things are made to go on the ground, directly on the ground, next to a tree, somewhere on the ground, and they're very durable. It's a really nice, strong material, and I love it. And there's nothing like sleeping on the rolled up bed with your lever action, and it's definitely a very nostalgic thing. Roll it up like that, and off you go. Sleep with a teddy bear 30-30 next to you, and comfy, nice and warm. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If I am on horseback, we do have saddle pads. If you guys are familiar with horses and saddles and so on, there's a saddle pads. I sometimes take those saddle pads out and I'll throw 2 saddle pads under my, if I don't have my cot, if I'm sleeping directly on the floor, I will throw a saddle pad under my canvas roll, and gives me a little extra, you know, protection from the ground, the coolness of the ground, the dampness of the ground. But so that's pretty much my setup. Like I said, I don't like using those sleeping bags that much anymore, just because I feel very restricted. I like freedom to move around, jump out of the bag if I need to. And like I said, canvas alone is great insulation. And you get, just make it your own, okay? Your brain is the greatest tool you have. So use your brain and, you know, start experimenting with different things, and you know, make it your own, you know. And what's going to make it, how you're going to make it your own? Well, you need to get out there and do these things. And you're gonna have days that you're gonna find that you messed up somewhere, and that's how you learn, you know. You're too cold or you're too hot, and you wish you had a sheet, or, you know, a bed sheet, or because, you know. But again, you have to make it your own and find what works for you and what makes you comfortable, you know. So remember, when you're out there, you need to make sleeping, how could I put this, not a priority, but it's got to be at the top of your list to make sure that you sleep as comfortable as possible. You know, you have to be able to rest, especially when you are in remote areas that demand a little bit more physical work. You know, resting is important. So there's nothing worse than to have a really bad night of sleep because you were either too hot or too cold, uncomfortable for some reason, and then you got to go through the day trying to catch your trophy elk or your trophy deer, you know, do a nice hunting day, and now your hunting day is ruined because you're just feeling miserable, or you got sick from being too cold, or you can get sick from being too hot and perspiring a lot, and you know, so you really have to plan and have a backup. Like I said, if I can, and most of the times I can, number one, I always take my canvas roll. 2, I always take my wool blanket. 3, I always take my inflatable mattress. 4 and 5, the sheet, the bed sheet, and the pillow cover. Not a pillow, because a pillow takes up too much space, but just the pillow cover, because I stuff it up with extra clothing that I have with me. But if I can, I also take my sleeping bag, because you just never know. You might have a friend that forgot theirs. You might be stuck in a winter storm, as I've been in a winter storm before, and you know, at that point, you need the extra layer of insulation, and at that point, you're going to be thankful to have your sleeping bag surrounded by your sheet and your blanket and your canvas roll, and you be nice and cozy. Okay, even if you're in a tent, remember, if it's snowing outside and you're caught in a blizzard or something like that. I lived in New England for many years. I lived up north for many years. I'm down south more now, but still, I still travel and I still go and hunt and fish and so on. So you want to be prepared, and you want to have a redundancy of a system. You know, you got to make a system, create a system that's going to have you protected while you're sleeping. Again, sleeping, no matter if you're out on vacation, camping, or you're out hunting somewhere, sleeping is very important. Sleeping comfortable and having a good night of sleep and good night of rest is important. If I can sleep outside in the open, is something that I really, really enjoy. Just sleeping under the stars. But of course, I have tents that we use, the family and I use, and depending on, again, on the weather, I will always have a tent as a backup, because obviously if it's pouring rain, I'd rather be under a tent than to be in the open and just getting miserably wet. So, but if it's a beautiful summer or a nice fall night, and skies are clear and it's a nice crisp night, I'd rather sleep in the open versus sleeping inside of a tent. So, okay. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe and help out the channel. And before I go, I'd like to apologize. Last week I didn't put out a video. We had some major hurricane weather situation going through our area. Not as bad as the Carolinas and Georgia did, but we had some trees down and leaf branches all over the place, and so I had to catch up a little bit with the house here, and also it was raining a lot, so it was kind of hard. I like doing my videos outside. It seems you guys like the outdoors videos better than the indoor stuff, and I'm an outdoorsman. I love the outdoors, so I'd rather do stuff outside here at the homestead. But thank you again for watching, and please stay in touch. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and help the channel out. All right, guys, have a good day. Take care.